Yo, yo. All right. Welcome, everybody. We're doing a Monday review today. Um, I didn't even do the intro. Hey, guys. This is Poppy Churro over here from MTM Traders, doing a little bit of an update for Monday's plays that we had from last week. So basically, set some plays up last week on Friday, so now I was checking in on seeing how they were doing, how they were performing. We've had a lot of volatility during this time, so I'm expecting to review the charts again, just take a look at them, see where we position ourselves, old entries, new entries, that kind of jazz. So let's take a look at it. Perfect. All right, let's begin with gold. So gold, let me fix the screen. There we go. Perfect. Awesome. So we looked at gold. Oops. We looked at gold this past Friday and had kind of like our target levels. So it looks like this play is going out as expected. A little bit of volatility. We have a downtrend here on the shorter time frame. I'm kind of seeing immediately catching my eye. We have another little guy over here. So we can expect kind of this range. We'll be bouncing between this range right now unless we break anything. Let me see. Ooh, excuse me. Another seeing kind of a point right here, just on the more bullish flow. So it looks like we have a decision to make on this candle here. Let's see. Um, so I'm just gonna zoom out to the day chart, just because I like getting kind of like an overall view of this longer time frame. We have this point up here, which was our highs, and then let's draw a little trend line this way so we can kind of build a little bit of structure. Obviously, we're doing this uptrend right here, very aggressive too. Um, Gold has been shooting up like crazy, so we can actually do a little bit of finagling here, and we can draw some lines just to try to get some, at least lay down like a little bit of a map. This is just how my brain works, so if I can identify trends and patterns, I like that. It makes sense to me in my brain, right? So here we have a fair value gap that we had between 51 and 5 grand for gold. So this is the general area where I expect to be kind of hanging out for a little bit up until it makes a decision here. Currently we do have an ongoing war, so that does affect things with the US and Iran, and now that Saudi Arabia has entered the chat, we kind of have a little bit of multiple pieces on the chessboard, if you may. So I'm very much expecting a lot of this stuff to just swing. Gold is, I'm expecting gold to be bullish. That's just my personal view on it. I think it performs very well in distrustful, how do I say, in very hard times, if that makes sense. Gold is just a key asset, and I think it's going to be something people are going to be loading up, especially if there's fear in the fiat or the dollar or the kind of the position of the dollar, if that makes sense. So it makes sense. So just be looking at this range right now. Currently do have a long in. The original entry zone for the long, let me pick it up for you, is going to be, we are looking at entry price of 50.82. So I got in right at the 5K mark. So it'd be in this 50, let's see, entry price 50.82. Let me see, did I move this on accident? Let's see, text, coordinates. Huh, yeah. So it looks like we got in around this area. Very good. I'm just looking at the play over here on my phone. Um, so it's perfect. So we have right here the entry zone, which is what we had before, and we are riding it up to here to the all-time highs. I'm going to start looking at these break of structures. Looks like we're looking a little bullish on this end too. So I very much like that momentum. We have a pretty aggressive couple of candles here, and I just don't want to ignore kind of this, you know? Um, yeah, so we'll see what happens here. Obviously, this is a more aggressive downtrend, and I think once we break this pattern, we'll see a little bit of sideways action, and then from here we'll have a shoot up. So we'll see. Just gold looking really good just on the charts itself. RSI is bottomed out as well. MACD is in the negative, so it's in the bearish area. So basically, this is just telling me that right now we're looking for that flip. Um, and that's on the day chart. So I'm gonna go back to the 4-hour chart, which is my bread and butter. I really like using it, and yeah, looks very promising here. So we have a couple ranges to watch for. Like I said, I have stop losses down here at that 49.89. So we'll see how it goes from here. But yeah, perfect. Next one is going to be BTC dominance. We can take a look at it. Just overall, we're at 59.1%. Had a little bit of a dip, and now it looks like we're pushing upwards here. Could it be another move down? I mean, let's zoom out into the day chart just to give us a clearer picture of the dominance. Currently, we are heading on a downtrend, but looks like we could cross here. Let's see. RSI looks to be crossing down here. Let me make it a little bigger for everybody. Ooh, there we go. And then, yeah, MACD looks to be rejecting this cross and pushing upwards. So we can see a little bit here. Same thing with the MACD is crossing points, so I can expect some bullish movement here just on the daily chart. We just made a brand new candle as well. Finishing up the day, we had a bullish day on the dominant side of things. BTC, same kind of situation, came down to some fair value gaps that we had before from 60 to 64 over the weekend. Or I'm sorry, we had down here to 65 to 65 range, but it looks like we're doing a little bit of the same thing over here when it comes to finding point 1, point 2, and we have a little bit of an uptrend here. So just be watching this play a little bit. I can actually also draw a line from up here down. Perfect. So we can kind of have now a better picture of where crosses, points, things could meet. But yeah, so the current play was stopped out that I got in for the short. So I was stopped out in profits, and yeah, it wasn't much, but I got a little bit of a W. Very important to kind of move that stop loss into profit zone when you are in the cheese, just to secure some profits. I always say walking away with a little bit is better than walk away with nothing, right? Um, at the end of the day, I mean, trading is very volatile, and you see these candles. This was a busy, busy past week. So, I mean, just overall, the way the markets are and stuff, always secure your profits is always my recommendation. But as always, not financial advice. Do your own research on everything that you do, learn, so you can be better educated. It's always great to have more education on what you're trading as well. That's something that I'm actually very bad at, but I need to get better at. But in the sense of just mainly understanding what I'm trading, especially if I'm holding it long term, you know. But in the end, the charts, I tend to not overcomplicate it. I trade only a handful of things that I've been trading. I try not to do new stuff. That's just a personal preference for me. ETH is going to be the next one that we're looking at. Same thing. I mean, we're pretty consistent across the board when it comes to the structure. Same thing with Sol right now, kind of doing a little pushing up. You know, same thing. BTC seems to be pushing up as well. We have our target areas that we're looking at. So just watching it right now. The only play that was open that did not hit stop was this position right here for the gold. So gold is still currently active. Everything else closed. Sui was amazing for this weekend. We had a nice little drops. So this drop was very, very nice and healthy. We obviously have a pump now back up to 95, but I did get a little bit of a catch this wave going down as well. And then I did not catch on the way up. I got stopped out during this round 88 is where I got stopped out at. So pretty good short, but like I said, this was a little scalp in and out. And that's pretty much it when it comes to all the other things. Hype is one of those that I really like looking at. The chart is a little different compared to traditional, just structures and stuff. Hype is the Hyperliquid token. If you guys aren't familiar with it, I love using or having charts like these because I really like it. It really just gives me a clear view, kind of like of what I'm trading. hype is just very consistent to me. It's been good to me, so you know, proper trading. It's just kind of fun. I learned a lot on the charts of hype and Sol were the two ones because I wanted to also get some exposure into Ethereum when I was first learning. And so Hype was the new chain during that time where it popped up, and I was like, well, let me challenge myself and try to see, try to understand, all the chains in themselves. Trump obviously is taking a downturn right now with the war. It's a meme coin, so it's going to be a little bit more on the emotional side of things. Great short, by the way. I know we talked about this last week. We were looking at 3.5. So if you took this short to 2.9, you can, I'm looking at this right now on the daily chart. There's no fair value gaps that are popping up. I can look at the week chart, but I don't even think there's that much information when it comes to this. So 4-hour chart, I can zoom in. I'm still not seeing any fair value gaps. 1 hour. So we're pretty much in the Wild West when it comes to how low can this go. 289 is the current price. Uh, this could keep going lower. This is making new lows. So at this point, there's not even a bounce. This is sell pressure. It's just selling off, right? So be careful with these ones. Moodang is very, very volatile as well. We had a couple levels that I had put up as entry zones into Moodang. We got into the entry zone here for the short. Looks like it filled the fair value gap here, bounced off of the 200 EMA, and now we're going an uprise again. So just EMA wise, it's another good way to kind of take a look at it. Going back to Sol, you see how it's kind of respecting this EMA right here. We had a cross going down, so giving us that sense that we were going to have a bearish momentum. Now we're making a kind of like that push going upwards as well. So once we see the cross here from the 50 and the 200 EMA, then we're going to have a little bit more information on the direction and the momentum as well. RSI is on the downtrend, yet we are pumping right now in this candle. So we can definitely see maybe it has a little bit more motion to go down, but I'm expecting to see a little bit more bullish momentum just overall in the markets. We've had a lot of quite the downtrend here, and I think an alleviation or some kind of a relief pump is in order, just based off of everything. Now, just looking at the structure though, just of Bitcoin, um, it so we have the here we have the 50 coming up, making a pretty big hedge for this pump that we had here, and then massive drop into the 200 cross, went under, and now we're above the price. I can see this possibly getting up in this area, and I'll be watching this. This is another way that I've been kind of playing with. A friend of mine has been putting me on this, um, kind of looking at the EMA levels. So it's one thing that I've been kind of just keeping an eye on. But if this EMA doesn't make a higher, if it doesn't make a higher high than the previous one, then it can kind of indicate to me that if it starts going downhill before, then that should be a great zone. Regardless of the price would follow, but they would indicate a downtrend as well. So I'm just taking it. I'm just looking at it, taking a peek, seeing how it pops. Obviously, what comes up must come down. So if we do have a pop up here to where we have the price hit kind of like in this area of like 73 to 72, I could see it making a lower high in this sense. Revisiting the zone up here, it is entirely possible I could see it. If we do hit this price though, this would cause a cross and it would cause a fake pump into then a dump, which is kind of what I'm seeing right now. This is just casually observing this, but this price would have to reach all the way up here, kind of consolidate before rejecting. If we do see the rejection here, this would be perfect for it to kind of make kind of this pattern, if that makes sense, right? So now we still have, right, a downtrend as well to this motion. We do have a lower high up here, and that would indicate that. Now, could be wrong as well. We have the 200 EMA, which could also do something like this, as well, depending. So I'm watching for both. If they're both showing downtrends in that sense, then it's safe to assume in my end that I would be comfortable taking kind of part of that motion, opening up shorts in that area, and then I'll just, on a more macro level, this is just an hour play, right? So this is just one way. I'm not sure if I'm making sense, but this is kind of just like a fun way where I've trained myself to have that patience as well. Because you see this cross, you could get excited and you can enter it here, but we could have a total rejection and not even break these levels from up here. That we have a huge fair value gap zone up here, and we have the next checkpoint up here, and we have another one here, right? So essentially the price could finagle up here and then decide to keep dropping down. it would still make a downtrend, kind of in this sense. And until we see a break of structure up here, I would be comfortable in entering as well. I'm looking for that pop as well, but we also have seen sometimes motions do this, and then they go down, and then this just has a more aggressive drop on the 50, and the 200 just kind of coasts forward, creating a new kind of momentum slither. So I'm watching everything, just kind of taking a sense. If the price does something, I tend to have kind of a reaction or a plan. But this is just, I'm building a plan and I'm building a sense of what I see in Bitcoin. And this is just analyzing the 1 hour chart. I mean, I can go back on all this stuff right here, erase, erase, and we can go on the daily chart for a more longer term play. This is on the 1 hour chart, so you would expect, let's say 24 candles will give you some better information. So 24-hour play, 24 to however long you want. It's up to, that's totally up to the user preference. But to me, you can't, how do I say, you cannot ignore, kind of like that 1 hour zone. 4 hours my bread and butter, but I like looking at the 1 hour just for general momentum and changes in structure. 15 is great if you're scalping. I've just, with this current kind of position of where the market's at and how volatile it is, I think I need to zoom out a little bit more just for myself and the type of trader that I am. I think it's very important to kind of get the eagle view, and you can't get too canary with it, if that makes sense. The 15-minute chart is a little too close for me. Feel more comfortable in the 1 hour charts, just kind of playing these zones. 4 hours, obviously the one that I refer to the most, and then the 1 day is the one that we can look at as well on these zones as well. And this could give us a better idea of the price and kind of like where where Bitcoin is pushing. We're making a cross as well here. We're in bullish territory on the MACD, pushing up on the RSI. I'm kind of seeing a little bit of a top up here. So we continue this downtrend, a little bit of a push on the RSI. We could do a little bit of a rejection and then go down as well. So that would make sense as well for this play. I can see that happening just with momentum. Oops, just with momentum itself. Looking at the chart, we have a couple fair value gaps we want to revisit, but we could also reject from this zone. On a more aggressive approach, we have also this, we can draw a trend line this way. So, oops, let me do arrow. Oh, I have a demonstration one. I forgot about that. We could actually look at this general area right here. But we have kind of more aggressive downtrend in this. We could reject off of this fair value gap and then keep pushing downwards, causing the price to break this structure for the longer term one that we had drawn. This one would bring us down to a new low, but that's all structure. So that's why trend lines, I really like trading this way. And it would make sense, right? It keeps going up, it hits, maybe flirts with this kind of zone right here, and then kind of rejects. That's just how I'm seeing it right now. I'm not basing anything off of feelings. I'm just looking at the structure of the chart, the structure kind of these trend lines, and if it makes sense and if it breaks, it tends to be a reaction. Obviously, it could be wrong. It could do a little pump fake in this area, but the momentum will be there if it breaks the structure. So we can't ignore that as well. And then at that point as well, that would mean it would revisit this 50 EMA, and then it would make that decision if it's going to cross it into the bullish territory, and then possibly give us kind of like a sense of maybe a direction, general 50-day push going upwards, and this guy kind of coming in here with the 200, and then eventually they'll either flirt or do kind of this situation right here, where we have a close encounter where the price kind of comes back up and then has a falling rejection to this area right here for this fair value gap that I'm looking at. So this 89, 85 will be a little bit long term that I'm looking at. Short term, I'm going to be taking a look at this fair value gap right here at the 69 range. 69 to 68, 68.8 kind of range. So I'll be looking at this just to kind of take a peek at what the price wants to do, if it's looking more bullish or more bearish in this area. But we'll see. We have some levels down here at 55, which are ultimately the doom levels that everyone's calling them. Personally, I think this is a great buying opportunity. If you're here, if you're trading crypto, if you feel like you're going to be around for a couple seasons hunting these deers, I mean, loading up at these prices is great. I mean, anything below 50, I always say is great. That's just me though. That's just my personal opinion and how I look at it. But obviously, I cannot ignore the charts. I can't ignore the structure. I like crypto. I like it here. It's really fun. It's been a very how do I say, it's been very fast-paced learning environment just because things move at 100 miles an hour. 1 week in crypto is the joke where it's 1 month into the Nasdaq side of things. So I mean, you have to kind of be you really push yourself kind of being in this environment. But at the end of the day, that's the whole point of being here. I mean, people that are into trading or learning how to want to trade, or guys in the Discord and stuff like that that are pushing themselves to just make calls and just experiment kind of with how should I say, just like the education side of things. I think is really awesome. It kind of pushes everybody to kind of like grow in the sense of who like if you're learning to be a teacher on a subject, that it's going to eventually make you an expert once you start being able to teach. And so that mindset and flow, I really appreciate all the guys in there just dropping their education on the charts. What's a fib, even as simple as just doing daily reminders on certain things. It's nice, it's good, it's refreshing. And I think we need to, if you want to succeed in anything, you want to surround yourself with the smartest people. And they're all chads in there, so it's awesome. We do a lot more plays like these, and we just, if people have general questions about certain tokens, more than happy to talk about them and just kind of give our views on it. This is all TA and technical, analysis on all this stuff. This is just my personal opinion. Like I said, no, not financial advice. Do your own research on everything. It's very important. Research is everything. You don't understand something, ask questions. But anyways, that's just my rant right now. Um, yeah, I mean, come trade with us. We'd love to have you guys in the community. Um, and then we'll update you guys on the plays as they go for the next week. So tomorrow I'll be on as well. So I'll be doing a stream. We'll have a special guest on, one of the MTM senseis, and it'll be fun. We'll just see how it goes, and we'll play with it. And yeah, we'll be here for the next stream, guys. So yeah, thanks for coming by. Appreciate you guys. Like and sub to the video, helps out a lot. I know like it's so weird saying that. But yeah, no, I appreciate everybody. Um, yeah, have a good day. Appreciate you guys. MTM Traders on Discord, all links are below. Come say hi, Pop, say what's up. And oh yeah, on a side note, congrats to Mercedes for this win. I did watch the game for sure, or the race, I'm sorry, um, and it was a good one. So really, really awesome on everybody. Pretty impressed that Mercedes got first and second. Kimmy's so young, and I think that's awesome. Such a young driver. He's got a lot of promise. So the rookie cards are definitely going to be cooking with Kimmy if he does really well going forward in his career. So yeah, it's going to be fun. And shout out to Leclerc for popping that win for Ferrari. Hamilton right behind him. They're going to be strong contenders this year. I personally, I love McLaren, but I think Mercedes has the edge this year. I just think they have that dog in them right now, and I think Toto is very much pushing it, and I like the fire, and all of them too. I mean, a lot of the pros are pretty much very much spread out in that sense, and I think it's kind of fun. So, anyways, just a little F1 rant for all the fans if there's any out there, but yeah, I like watching it. It's fun. And I'm definitely, rooting for the teams. But Mercedes, I think, is doing really well. Shout out to Checo for actually finishing the race. That was pretty cool. First race of the season with Cadillac, and yeah, that's pretty awesome. He also played a really good dogfight with Liam Lawson. Didn't let him pass, and yeah, it was cool. It was cool to see some old school fights. So I think this season is going to be awesome. Next one I think was going to be in China, so I think that's this weekend. So I'm going to be excited for that one. We'll see. Have a good race, and yeah, we'll just see how everything goes. But anyways, all right, guys. Well, peace out. Join up, and then yeah, we'll see you guys in the Discord later.